Cody Ko.
Yeah, I do actually know Cody Ko. Don't
Yeah,
watch
so
him, but
Cody Ko's pretty big, probably one of the biggest YouTubers, honestly. He's pretty gigantic. And there have been sort of rumors, bubbling, murmuring, whatever. And I mean, Tana has basically just come out and said as much on podcasts and stuff, Tana Mongeau, that she had sex with Cody Ko when he was like an adult and she was 17. And
oh
I've
boy.
been wondering for a long time, why has this not been a bigger story? Like, it doesn't sound like the most horrific thing ever. Like, obviously, there are worse allegations and that sort of thing, but Cody is such a massive figure on YouTube. It's been really weird to me that nobody has covered this. But D'Angelo Wallace put out a video, I think yesterday. I just cut it up a little bit. I just wanted to get like the really hard hitting stuff. Not that the stuff I
Mhm.
cut out aren't good points or anything. I just thought this stuff was the more harder hitting stuff that pretty much everybody would be on board with.
Someone has been alleging for years now that you, one of the largest commentary creators on YouTube, knowingly committed a crime against her when she was a minor. But YouTubers and viewers alike are ignoring and discrediting these allegations solely because the person making them happens to be an unlikable woman online, Tana Mongeau. And you know that people are ignoring this because nobody is working harder to bury the story than you. And you're getting away with it because commentary YouTube has a serious problem.
And it's very eerie, kind of the way he talks directly to Cody Ko. This whole video is an interesting choice, but it kind of hits. It's very impactful, or I found it at least the way that
I
I
like
can't
that.
blame any of your viewers or my viewers for not hearing about this because you've done such a good job hiding it up until now that I only found out about it recently. There's only so much rug sweeping you can do before people start taking a closer look at things. So let's take a closer look.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, no one look at me, Cody Ko. I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that.
If Tana Mongeau was 17,
Oh,
you would have
boy.
been 25. So people started speculating and Tana decided to set the record straight.
I hooked up with Cody Ko when I was 17 and he was 25.
She claims that not only were you fully aware of her age at the time, but someone even tried to stop you and you went ahead anyway.
There was a
Yeah, this part's crazy. Like, because there's no real hard evidence in this story, but I mean, this aspect of it is really damning, in my opinion.
situation with
No, that
Gabby
is crazy.
Hanna at a playlist live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up.
To be clear,
So yeah, another YouTuber warned Cody Ko that he was messing with a 17-year-old.
17 is under the age of consent in many states, including Florida, where Playlist Live used to take place. So this means that Tana Mongeau is accusing you of statutory rape, and she's not trying to hide that.
This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime.
Nothing would make this situation better, but plenty of things make it worse, like the fact that she was a fan of yours at the time, adding an additional layer to the power dynamic you would have had over her.
I grew up loving him, and I
100%.
think you know what?
Yeah, it's so gross to me that there's such a performativity, it would seem, about all of these people being against the Hollywood Me Too stuff. But then these YouTubers, they just recreate Hollywood. There's like more allegations with all these YouTubers and Twitch streamers and stuff than there ever was with the Hollywood people. They not only they recreated, they made it worse. It's more of a cesspool than Hollywood. It's insane.
It is pretty crazy how much has came out lately that we've even covered.
I mean, like I was just like excited and a fan. If I had a 17-year-old daughter or a little sister or something, like I would kill. I would never let it fly.
You know
Yeah, I mean, she's saying that with hindsight. Yeah, I would be
Mhm.
entirely outraged that this happened. Now that I have hindsight, maybe I didn't recognize it as a 17-year-old, but now that I'm an adult.
that Tana has been making this same specific
No, it
claim
makes
against you
sense.
for years now. Here she is back in 2021 saying the same thing.
I was 17 at the time, 18. I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen, shout out Cody Ko.
But what lends the most credibility to Tana's claims, and what is really the most damning thing for you, Cody, is a clip that you might not have even
right here.
seen yet. Did you know that Gabby is actually on record telling the exact same story several years ago?
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he
In a situation that cannot be proven,
Jesus
corroboration
Christ.
by a third party goes a long way. No
Yeah, and that's a good point because we don't really have anything else to go off of. There's not going to be documentation of this, but wait, what did Gabby and Tana plan to plant these seeds years and years ago? I mean, it's possible, but doesn't seem all that likely. But
Yeah, it doesn't
no
really seem
amount of
very likely.
retroactive age calculations or what if scenarios change the fact that what Tana described would be, objectively speaking, a crime. A crime which you've said absolutely nothing about. And even if this wasn't illegal, you remember being 25. You would have known then, as I currently know at age 25, that nobody this age should need an explanation for why a 17-year-old is off limits. Because you remember being 17 too. Now, thankfully, Tana's personal experience with this isn't one of trauma. In fact, I've seen people defending you by saying, Tana said she doesn't care, so why should any of us care? But that's not exactly what she was saying.
I don't associate or hold it with trauma because I am such a comparative person where I'm like, so many worse things have happened to me.
And even if something isn't consciously internalized as an identifiable source of trauma, the body keeps the score.
I know things manifest in ways other than me directly feeling them. Like maybe I don't feel traumatized in certain aspects from certain things, and other things I do. But, you know, maybe they just manifest in ways other than directly feeling. The most traumatizing thing of all of this really was seeing how many people like don't believe people or don't believe me. I feel.
yeah, that's nuts. I think that is like the two main reasons that this isn't bigger is because a lot of people love Cody Ko and then a lot of people hate Tana. But it seems wild to me that that's enough that this has not become a bigger thing and he hasn't had to address it up until this point. Or he still hasn't, I don't think. Maybe he will
That
now
is
with
pretty wild.
Angelo's video, but this just happened.
So bad for all of these young girls because then they see that and then it makes them not want to come forward.
And you, Cody, are part of the reason she's been met with this reaction. Your status as one of YouTube's golden boys has made it possible for you to ignore a situation that almost anyone else would have had to respond to by now.
I know for a fact if you swapped out Cody Ko with someone that like people didn't like that much, I would be receiving so much more sympathy.
I find your silence on the situation
Probably
to be
true.
uncomfortable because I know that if Tana's allegations are true, then silence would be your only option.
Yeah, and that's why it's so suspicious. Because if you choose silence in a situation like this, it makes it seem like that's all you have. But if you weren't silent, it would look even worse. That's the implication in my mind, you know? That's the inference a lot of people are going to make.
Since telling the
That makes
truth would be
sense.
tantamount to confessing to a crime, and lying would put you at risk of being contradicted by a witness. But even if what Tana says is false, your silence is still grossly incompetent at best. Why are you choosing the path that would be your only option if you were guilty?
I said something about it online and it was starting to surface. And he texted me like, are we good? And was like,
Yeah, that's super manipulative. So there's murmurings of this, and Cody texts her, "Oh, hey, we good? We chill?"
Yeah, no, that seems pretty shady on his point, especially when he even was told not to do it. Makes it even worse.
I said, yeah. And like, he was like, my wedding's coming up.
You do have a history of making bad choices when you're terrified of
manipulative
people
sounding.
finding things out, like your history of using slurs.
9, nigga 6, nigga 7, nigga 8, nigga 9, nigga.
There's more clips than that, but the reason most people are blissfully unaware of them is because you posted your vague apology not on Twitter, not on YouTube, but on Patreon.
Yeah, like this is just such suspect behavior. He's got millions of subs on YouTube, but he posted on his Patreon where 288 people see it.
Yeah, no, he definitely doesn't want to fully admit to things. He kind of seems a little shady.
Despite acknowledging in your apology that the clips were surfacing on Twitter. But now your cowardice has reached a new low. You've tried speaking and you've tried silence, and now you're choosing censorship. On your YouTube channel, where you've been pumping out content nearly every day now, I couldn't find
Yeah, he kind of so on YouTube. How do you feel? Bad nods. Sultry Saturday feels like we were living in South Park episode. The Devil's Soul Patch would go so hard as a band. And then on Instagram, can't have one comfort YouTuber without them being weird, for fuck's sake. Great role model for your kid, buddy. Parrish, I'm so upset that I bought his merch before I found out about this. Pretty
Yeah,
weird
so he's
disparity,
definitely
huh?
he's definitely censoring his YouTube. I'm surprised he hasn't shut his comments off on Instagram yet, honestly.
And a single comment on your last video about this situation. Not even one. Comparing that to the comment section on your Instagram, where every single comment I saw was about this, it's clear that you're heavily censoring your audience on YouTube. But surely you must have realized the limits by now, since people have just transferred the conversation over to your wife's channel. The fact that her comment section is
And at
Oh my
this point, it's
goodness.
like, how do you not say something? How, as a husband, do you know, like, okay, it's affecting my wife on this level. I got to do something besides the silence and the censorship now.
Yeah, he's kind of digging himself in a hole the longer he doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, it's just getting worse at this point, I think.
overrun due to your decision to stay silent about this should be all the proof you need that that decision was wrong. At this point, your silence and censorship are a response with disturbing implications. The only thing that I've seen this hidden portion of your audience asking for is the truth. So why aren't you telling it? And your silence isn't the only one that's bothering me either.
All these Reddit threads, like if my name's on any thread, it's all getting deleted.
I witnessed the heavy-handed moderation of your subreddit in real time as I researched this video. I would refresh the page and posts would suddenly be unapproved.
Yeah, he's got his Jannies working overtime, cleaning stuff up. Don't let anybody see the allegations on any of my platforms. It really looks so bad to be doing this rather than why not just address it if you'd rather do this. It seems so bad. It really does. It makes it seem so much worse than even what Tana is saying. The fact that you're doing this makes it seem like there's more to it than what she's saying.
Seems like he's definitely trying to deflect and not own up to it, or like it just makes him look guilty. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's for sure one way or another, but it seems likely that all these allegations are coming up with her and stuff. That like there's multiple different people saying it, so it seems a little suspicious for sure.
Well, and yeah, and to just be constantly covering all of this up and deleting comments rather than ever address it. It's weird. It's what a guilty person does.
By moderators after racking up hundreds of
Exactly.
comments, removed because they could, quote, instigate drama, or more commonly, just locked and or removed with no reason given whatsoever. I'm sure whoever is doing this thinks they're helping you, but you should probably tell them that they're making things look 10 times worse. I haven't seen a single channel over 1 million subscribers do so much as acknowledge that this situation exists. And I'm not talking about channels that never would have discussed something like this either. I mean the same channels that were rightfully calling out people like Dr. Disrespect for texting a minor, which are the same channels that are now completely ignoring a scenario with an even bigger creator being accused of doing something much worse.
Yeah, it's crazy because the Dr. Disrespect drama was gigantic. It was huge. D'Angelo is the first big channel I've ever seen calling this out.
Unconfirmed because the channels that I'm talking about discuss rumors all the time. And this video is all the proof you need that there's still plenty to discuss even without making definitive statements.
The amount of people in this industry who like want to protect him and are like talking to me in a way where it's like they, you know what I mean? Like, or even just friends like, but I love him.
We both
Doesn't it just sound so Hollywood? They did Hollywood all over again.
know that on our side of commentary YouTube, any man can easily elevate himself by dunking on misogynists in his content and espousing a generally feminist viewpoint. But if that viewpoint turns to silence, the moment a situation is no longer cut and dry, then that viewpoint was a brand strategy, not a belief. The only
That I thought was like one of his strongest points. You want to say all this stuff on your videos and act one type of way, but then when push comes to shove, it's silence from you. When it actually counts, you don't want to say the truth.
thing I'm hearing is a bitter, hollow silence, one that you have the power to end. It's a fact that you and Tana were around each other during the year she specified, as seen in your uncomfortable collab videos, which are still online. It's a fact that Gabby Hanna has made claims that seem to corroborate Tana's allegations against you. And it's a fact that you are suppressing your audience's knowledge of these allegations by censoring your YouTube comment section. These things may not prove Tana's allegation, but you better believe that they contextualize them in a way that you need to address.
I
That's pretty
agree,
insane.
D'Angelo. Yeah, I'm very
I had no
interested
idea.
now to see how how things go down. If Cody feels the pressure to finally address this after this, I would think he has to. I still don't understand how it's gone this long. So shout outs to D'Angelo for, making that video, being the first big guy to do that, because it's been a long time coming. I truly don't understand how it's taken this long for somebody of size to talk about it.
And like, so the rumor started back in 2021, according to the video too. Like that's when she first like said something about it, and it's taken 4 years. That is a long time that it surfaced for people to finally start talking about it.
Yeah, so I'm very, very curious to see how that plays out. I would be amazed if Cody Ko can get away with not responding. It doesn't seem like he can at this point. Maybe I'm biased because I'm familiar with D'Angelo or whatever, but I don't know. He's had some videos that go crazy, crazy big.